Hi all, welcome along to this part 7 of renovating a TVR, putting Brembo 4-pot brakes on the front, larger discs and a spring refresh and fresh braided brake lines. I mean, the car is 23-year-old and you can imagine after 23 years the flexes, although they looked okay, are probably well past the sell by date. And of course we're going to do a complete rebleed of the whole system, so it'll all be fresh fluid. We've got the dot 4 I'm using, I'm not going to dot 5. So if you'd like to have a peruse of the video that you're about to see, come on. Hope you enjoy it. And I do, anybody who's got TVR, anybody who hasn't, probably, if you're into DIY and you want to look at your front of your car, back of your car and your suspension, by all means have a good look through my videos. But anybody in particular that's got a TVR Chimaera, maybe a TVR Tuscan or a Griffith, the front end, well the back end's more or less same. They're pretty much all TVRs, the same idea, a steel chassis, fiberglass body, but the structure's fairly similar on them all. So you know, any of you guys that fancy doing a bit of DIY but you're frightened of it, you know, and you send it into your specialist, TVR specialists, and there's a few scattered around the country, probably half a dozen or more, but they all charge a fortune, don't they? It's all 120, 140 pound an hour. I'm going to do a complete summary when I finish this video, not this particular one, probably next one, of exactly what it's cost me to do, including putting all new discs on, refreshing the calipers, new seals and kits in them, new pads all round, and the grooved and vented discs, upgraded, bigger, Brembo 4-pot calipers, new springs on the shockers, which if you go through my playlist of TVR you'll see how I did it all. I've got the old springs down there and they're a right mess, but you know, you send it into your specialist and it don't take long to get to £1,000, and it don't take very long past that to get to £2,000. I've got receipts in the house from this car when I bought it, from when it were new, and some of the bills are frightening. Over £20,000 being spent on this car in its lifetime. Phenomenal amount of money, really is. And one day I'm going to do a video, I'm going to lay out all my receipts in the date order, and we'll start off by showing you pictures of it being made when it were new, and then go through all bills and what it is that TVR always seem to do. Half it's rough running and loads of parts have been put on. They just keep adding bits on. I'm digressing and I'm sorry, I might cut this short actually, you might not even see this bit because I need to get on with this video, because I think a lot of people get to this point and say, oh buggy, I'm not watching it. Please watch it through and watch it to the end and you'll see the results. Thanks guys. Hi all, this is the beginning of part 7. I had a little bit of I could call it a mishap. Basically what happened was, if you saw the last part of this, I mean part 6, you'd have seen that this piston really struggled to come out. I had a right job getting it out, this bore here, and it was lots of attempts with compressed air and then squeezing it back in with a G-clamp and then compressed air, and probably 20 times or more before eventually it came out. Now when it did come out, it came out with quite a shot. I think it, you know, it came out here and whacked across here. Now at this side I had a G-clamp, a steel one, and a block of wood on the back holding this piston from coming out, and I had a block of wood in the top stopping those two pistons coming out. So all the effort of the air was just on that one piston. It might have been that did it, I don't know, but what it's done, and you're probably never going to see this on camera, it's there. Just here, there's a burr. and it's just slightly raised. Now when I put the pistons back in, I put all the grease on and the new seals in and everything, I put it in, it didn't go in easy, and I had to use a clamp to squeeze it in. And I left it for the evening then, and I went in, and as you do when you go to bed, you start thinking about stuff, and I thought, no, I'm not happy about that. So I went and ordered a new piston set for this one caliper. Not that I'm using them all, I'm only using one single piston, but I needed one. So I've dug out the seal that were brand new, and I've put that to one side, and I've got another seal, and I'm going to put that in, grease it all up, and put this piston in, because I wasn't happy. So I've jumped a little bit there. I actually came back into the garage the next day and decided to remove this piston that I'd squeezed in, and had a great difficulty getting it out. Really struggled. Eventually it came out, and I thought, yeah, I've done the right thing. I've ordered a fresh piston. So this new piston and a seal going to get greased up and put in now, and then I know for a fact all the 4 pistons are free. I just wasn't happy that one going to stick in, and I thought, yeah, that could cause all sorts of problems in the future. So, well, this grease is clear. The other stuff were red, but it's the proper stuff supplied with it. Right. I don't know, it's called hydraulic grease. Right, let's have a go. Straight in. Totally different, that. Straight in. Great. That caliper is now done properly. It was the 38mm one. Top's the 40, the bottom's 38. I was talking to a lad that used to race motorbikes the other night at a coffee bar. He said the difference in size is to do with progressive braking. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. That's what he said. Something to do with progressive braking. Right, that's not far off being ready to put the sticker on. Might need a rub down and maybe another light coat, we'll see. But I wanted to show this because it was a mistake that I'd made, and I wanted to just rectify it, so that I know that both calipers have got clean pistons that are sliding in and out with new hydraulic seals on. Okay. Right, another problem that I found was, and I did mention it, is this 1.88mm spacer on there. You can see that it's rocking. Which means the wheel will be buckled. And it's because this hub here, as it goes, shine a light at it, it might be better even. It's got a radius in the back edge there. There's a slight taper on this hub, but that has got a radius on it, and that was square edged and it was too small and it was rocking. So that way round it's okay, that way round it's rocking. So I filed an angle on this all the way round to follow that radius. So now that's on and good. So we should be okay when we come and put this thing back together. Just something else I thought I'd show you. So this top bolt is longer than the bottom bolt. Now the top bolt wouldn't go in the bottom because it would hit the wishbone, but it's same sort of. Can't understand why the bottom bolt and the top bolt are different lengths. I'm not sure they need to be. I'm blocking everything out. Let's see if I can find some better mounts for the camera. Something better. I'll knock off for a sec. It's a nylock, that is tight enough. Unfortunately I can't do that under there, the bottom one. So I didn't show it on video because it was so awkward. Is the drag link, if you can see it here, it goes at a real weird angle. Strange thing, but the brand new drag link onto the anti-roll bar. I'm sort of putting this together a bit ass about face because I don't want to damage my new caliper that I've just painted, and if I'd have fitted the caliper first, there's a good chance I'd whack it, but the awkward bit's going to be brake pipe in there, and it'd have been better doing brake pipe with the shock absorber off. We've got two hands in quite easy, but I didn't want to do that simply because I didn't want to damage my caliper. And why am I saying that? Because this is the new call it Air Equip Health Performance braided line that I'm putting on, and it's got these ends on, so that has to screw into the caliper tight, which I can't do if I fit that in first in there, which will be under there, through a hole at the back here with a grommet, like so, and then it'll come round and it'll do that, and it'll go into the caliper about there, maybe there somewhere. So, don't like that, but unfortunately, not a lot I can do about that. It's a really long thread on it, but it's up to the seat. So we're through there, we're through our grommet. And then into there. And then brake pipe goes on back, so I've got to fit the nut on here. There's a star washer and then a nut, because I've got to get that really tight, because I can only get in with one spanner to tighten the olive back onto the flexi. I think that'll be alright. Yeah. Right. Okay, so this is one side completely finished. Spring back in, drag links, probably a bit of wax oil to put on, and we're just all ready for bleeding up each side. Pads I've ordered, brake pads. That's it, they're just wheel to go on, but I can't do that until I bleed the brakes. I'm going to pressure bleed them all. So that's that side finished, and this side, you can see, is not finished. But what we've done tonight is, this has been a nightmare, this little 1.88mm spacer, because I did mention that I've had to file it at an angle to make it fit over, and my worry was, because the holes in here are much bigger than the stud, it's loose. Now if I put it on and let it go and put the disc on, then tighten some bolts over it, it nips. It don't centralise, it nips. So what I've done is I've put all bolts on with some packings in, so it's exactly in the right spot, and I've run super glue all the way around that edge, and I'm going to leave that now till tomorrow. And then tomorrow I'm going to get a chisel and carefully remove all the super glue that's sticking proud, and it's then glued central. By putting these bolts in, I've pulled the plate nice and tight back so super glue doesn't run round down the back, which is what did happen on the first attempt. So that was my fault. So this is done right now. So we've got drag link back in there. There's the spring to put on, which I've got over there. The caliper mount is on, but basically this shock absorber is further forward in relationship to that brake pipe fitting, and with that shocker in, it's going to be really awkward to get at it. Now on this side it wasn't as bad, because I'm right-handed and I could get in okay, which I did. I'm thinking of putting the brake caliper on first and putting the shock absorber on last. That disc's going to be sort of out here, but it doesn't matter, because the top bolt I can get from here above easily, and the bottom bolt I can get from sitting on my stool under there, working inwards. So I might do the brakes first and put the shocker on last on this particular one, but we'll see. I'm going to wind this video up now. This will be part 7, showing obviously the other side completed, and then when this side's completed I'll do another little video, and at some point I'm going to do a pricing up of what it's cost me for all the parts and to do this renovation that I've done, including the back. I'll dig all my receipts out. Hope you enjoyed it, guys. It might be a bit long-winded for some people and they want to skip through it quickly, but if you're ever considering doing any work on your own TVR, or in fact any car really, it's all Meccano, isn't it? You know, you might want to sort of sit down with a cup of tea and watch the video through. Obviously it helps me if you do, because it's my channel and it's great if everybody watches through, it's great. But seriously, if you're into DIY and you're a TVR man, Chimaera, Griffith, Tuscan, they're all pretty much similar, this chassis arrangement on TVRs. Very, very similar. Yeah. Okay, well, somebody did say that my exhaust is very close, which it is, to the chassis. And Dave Stewart, CTS Racing, he'd said you probably could do with some new engine mounts on. One thing I've noticed about this car, I'm digressing, but I don't know that much about the history of the engine development over the years. I know quite a lot about Rover V8 engines, but it would seem this is a cross-bolted motor, so which means the mains are cross-bolted and up-bolted too, and they're a lot stronger, and it makes the crank a lot stronger, as in rev. You can rev them higher. If any of you know Is that called a GEMS engine? I don't think it is, but maybe it is, I don't know. It's a cross-bolted motor. It's a 4.6 litre cross-bolted. Let me know in the comments. Thanks guys, don't forget to give us a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't. Thank you.